right, thank you for joining us today at this Realcomm Live session. My name is Greg Haverstick, part of the senior leadership team at RealFoundations. So over the past 25 years, RealFoundations has grown more than just a business. It's cultivated a generation of leaders who continue to shape the real estate industry from every angle. Today we are joined by three distinguished RF alumni to talk about their experience at RealFoundations, how it has shaped how they lead today, and what do they see for the future of real estate. So let me introduce my guest. First we have Chris Jolene, who is the Global Head of Technology at Phineas Capital. Clint Osteen, the Senior Director of IT at Granite Properties. And Jeremy Poteet, the CIO at JBG Smith. So this year we're celebrating 25 years in business. How did your experience at RealFoundations shape your perspective on real estate operations and innovation?
Well, Greg, to be honest, I was at RealFoundations for 10 years, and the breadth of exposure to so many different asset classes, operating models, business strategies, it really informed my experience moving forward and gave me just all the tools I needed to be successful.
I got you. In that I started before RealFoundations was RealFoundations with the team right out of college and spent, I think, 9 years with that group, 4 of those being the first 4 years of RealFoundations. And I really grew up, learned about real estate through RealFoundations. Knew nothing about it when I went to school, developed a passion because I got to see this great breadth in the community, and then I made some great friends. A bunch of them are sitting right here on this panel that kind of shaped my view on this world, and been here ever since.
Yep, and I joined RF in 2004, right out of college. Actually started with a gentleman, Jim Carr, who was also an RF alum, and I had no clue that this even existed. All I knew is when I was leaving college, I needed to make money. And Jim was like, hey, you can be an auditor or you can go do consulting. And I was like, consulting sounds like a better gig. And I thank my lucky stars every day that happened. But then I just found myself into this. And there were nights when I was hanging out with Chris, working, pulling all-nighters, delivering for clients, where over time it just felt like this was the thing to do. Even though, when I was 8 years old, RF, career, CIO was not on the bingo card.
But once you join this industry, you tend not to leave this industry.
That's right.
So now you guys are leaders at some of the most respected organizations in this industry. What lessons from RF shape the way you lead today?
Well, for me personally, I had been a consultant at Ernst & Young before I went to RF, but one thing that RF really gave me the tools for to be successful was, it was like I learned to be a consultant. I learned to engage with senior level executives. And I think that's a really powerful component of what RealFoundations brings to the table. It brings exposure, and it brings real engagement with true decision makers.
Yeah.
For me, I didn't know any better when I started. I learned through those early years, I got to see such a breadth of companies and what was great, what wasn't so great. And I learned what I didn't want to do and what I really wanted to do. And I also learned that most IT projects aren't consulting projects. So, when we brought in as consultants, there's a budget and everybody's excited about it when we start. And then, but people have a plan. And then when you get into it and you're owning it every day, it's a little bit different world. But the good news is, we started in that period where, it was all good. And so it really put, I think, a positive light on, how we attack what we do every day.
I learned to sink or swim. I think that's part of it. But also with that came understanding courage and actually not being afraid, learning how to problem solve, and knowing that you're going to figure it out, which can be very daunting. Definitely at an early age, you're faced with these problems. You haven't had to solve them before, but you have a teammate, you have teammates, you have mentors, you have a whole community of people to work with and learn from, and things will get figured out.
Yeah, and you have that support.
Yeah, I think one of the things we try to do is instill a sense of curiosity amongst our team members, knowing that they have that backstop of an entire organization that is there to support you. So guys, now you're in these positions. How do you leverage that RF alumni network, which is very strong, as we all know?
Well, I know so many people because of that network. I walk through the hall here, and you can't walk 5 feet without somebody coming up and shaking your hand. Hey, how you doing? It might have been 20 years ago. So I leveraged the network, that I built to be successful at what I'm doing. I bring in the experts. I know people that no one else in my firm knows, and it's really a powerful channel for me. I'll call these guys. I'll call you. It's just an amazing asset.
And the RF network is beyond the people that actually worked at RF. It's also the hundreds of people that we actually worked for delivering projects. It goes beyond just us. It also includes them as part of the RF network, or even the vendors, the vendor partners out there where we have some alums, or where RF has just had very close partnerships over time, whether it's MRI or Yardi, many of the different sponsors out here in the exhibit hall today.
Oh, it's definitely a tribe, so to speak. We spent so much time in those consulting projects, and when you're out there, in the trenches every day, you spend probably more. I spent more time with the folks that I worked with during those days than I did at home.
Yes.
Because we were traveling, and there's something to be said for the camaraderie you build up, and I include all of the clients that we got to work with, because they were part of those long nights. And it was, it's an incredible group of folks, and I've got you two guys beat by just a little bit.
It's a family.
And it's 30 years of, meeting great people. I think I started RF when I was 7.
You aged just a bit. You had a little browner hair at the time. So, as we finish off our conversation here, as we become some of the elder statesmen within the industry, what advice do you have for some of the future leaders that are coming up now?
Well, work hard, but have fun doing it. I have stories with everyone up here that I cannot talk about on this stage. But that's those are the best times when you're really grinding, you're really doing good work that you're proud of. But you love the people that you're around, and you share those successes. So that's my advice. Work hard, but really, don't kill yourself. Have fun while you're doing it.
Yeah, be a part of a great team. Because at the end of the day, so one thing I really miss about those consulting days is that camaraderie. We were all on the road. Everybody's in it together. We're all, dealing with the same problems. We just kind of became a family. I tell my team at Grant all the time, that was some of the best times of my life, but, life does evolve, and you got to get off the road, but I sure do miss that time. And I encourage this next level, we were talking about it backstage, be curious, and then also you only have to know this much more to be an expert.
It's true.
I'm going to take something that I mentioned on a prior panel, which is be patient and be kind. RF teaches you a lot of patience, but kindness goes a long way in any industry. Being smart isn't a differentiator. Everybody here is smart, but if you really want to stand out, you want to be different, be kind, work hard.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for joining me this afternoon. It's been a great conference. The theme for our anniversary is Generations of Possibility, and we're looking forward to influencing generations more as we move forward for the next 25 years.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Greg.
Thank you.
Congratulations, RF.
Congrats, RF.